Oh, there we go. There we go. Swear to God. We're gonna release you unharmed. Oh. If I'm gonna raise my rod tip up, get this fish to me, I gotta leave out a lot of line. I start? I usually work my way down. I'm gonna walk all the way upriver, and I shall be back with you. I'm gonna find my favorite rock and have a seat and make sure my setup here is ready to go. If you guys watched my last fly fishing video, you'll know that this is my Spey Rod. It's 14 foot, number 9, and this is a Skagit line. And I've got like at least 300 yards of fly line on here with backing. So anyway, this is a woolly worm that I used to tie. I tied up a bunch of them years ago, and there it is. Up here, you can see that. Whoa, where the fly line is tied to the leader. I got a little fly there, little teaser fly. Okay, so I know this area well. I've been fishing it since I was a kid. So I've been fishing this area right here for probably 53 years, somewhere around there. And this is a floating fly, so, and it's a floating line. So what'll happen is, you know, it may sink a little bit as it's coming down, but once the river and the current picks it up, it's right on the surface. So any steelhead that's going to hit this is going to be coming up and hitting it just like a trout hitting a fly on a lake. Now I went with this big rod years ago because my shoulders started bothering me. And so I went with the two-handed rod so I can make easy casts and fish this spot, or any spot actually, without messing up my shoulders. So welcome back to another episode of Northwest Fishing Fanatics. Let's see, I don't have a playlist for this. River fishing with Gene. That's river. Oh, it is river fishing, isn't it? But it's fly fishing. How about this? Welcome back to another episode of Fly Fishing the River with Gene. We'll figure it out, won't we? We'll do it together. Yesterday was such a cool day. Kim and I took the grandkids, a couple of the grandkids, I have 10 of them. Oldest one is 21. Took Bonnie and Kaysen to Carlisle Lake. And we were messing around there on the bank, you know, and caught several little sunfish. Bluegill, sunfish, one of the two, I don't know. I think they might be sunfish. And what I'm doing here is I'm just letting the river swing it out across this seam here. Hey, there's a little trout right there. The trout popped up on the surface. Give it a few casts in here shallow before I go out there and disturb everything. Because you never know, those steelhead will come right in here, right up to the bank. They're just a big trout, right? I've talked about this before in my other videos, fly fishing videos, where, you know, I'm not a perfect caster. You know, I don't practice spey casting and do all these other, you know, fancy casts that, you know, spey casters do, which is cool. I mean, hey, it looks cool, it gets the line out there, I suppose, you know, but spey casting is not what I'm out here to do. I'm out here to fish and use my Spey Rod because of my shoulders. No, all the fancy casts, I don't care about those. I'm gonna try to get my presentation in front of the fish the way I do it. And it might not be a, you know, Spey Casters Association approved, but guess what? I catch fish, so that's all that matters to me. Come on. No, no, no. No, no, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Here we go. I almost got him. I almost got him. Oh, got myself a steely, baby. You know, I don't care about the fancy rods and the fancy equipment and everything. Everything I have is old. I don't buy anything new unless there's something, you know, that I break. Oh, oh, look at that. Look at. Oh. Okay, now this is a really big rod for this tiny fish. I got a trout here on the top fly. Let's try to land him and unharmed. I'll release him unharmed. Now this is a 14-foot rod, so I have to, if I'm gonna raise my rod tip up, get this fish to me, I gotta leave out a lot of line. Oh, he just came off. That was awesome. That little trout. That's what I'm talking about, man. Right there. You know, for me, it doesn't have to be a big steelhead. Of course, big steelhead are cool. But that fight right there made my morning perfect. That's what it's all about. I talked about this in my last video too, is that fishing is about being out here, you know? It's not about catching the biggest fish, the most fish, the most fish the quickest, you know, getting out there, you know, catching your fish and getting home. Oh, 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 what is this? Oh, it's another trout. Okay, it's another trout. That's not what it's about to me. If I'm gonna pencil in a day to go fishing, then I'm gonna pencil in that day. Oh, come on, come on. We're gonna release you unharmed. Oh, oh, look at this. Oh, it came off. Okay. What I was saying is that what fishing is about is being out here and having fun. So, you know, I've caught a couple fish already, and so this morning is already successful, and I can feel fish hitting it right now. I can feel fish bumping on it. So, okay, so let's try to catch a steelhead, huh? The river is running at about 2290, so under 2400. So I think it's 23, something like that. Just had a bump. I see a fish surfacing right here behind me. Don't know what it is, but sometimes those steelhead will come up and all you'll see is a fin. They look like a trout, but a lot of times it could be a steelhead. When you're in the river like this, you know, on a rock or standing out there, you can just move your rod back and forth, you know, to change the location of the fly. It's just skimming across the surface anywhere, or no more than like 4 or 5 inches below, depending on the speed of the water. Okay, we're gonna switch out this fly so I can get this rod to stay on my shoulder here. And let's see here, what do I want to put on? I don't see anything in here I want to put on. Okay, I'm gonna go with this guy here. Whoa, don't want to drop him in the river. Not without a line tied to him. And you can tell I have little strings tied to all of my, like little lanyards tied to all my boxes. Because when you're out in the river and you're switching flies, you don't want to drop your fly box in the river. They get expensive. So we're going to tie this stonefly on there. And I don't use anything fancy as far as knots go, just a simple clinch knot. And we're going to put that one on there now. Let's do this. Get this stonefly going on. Now this is a heavy stonefly. It's got a single bead, gold bead. So it's a little heavy. So I'm gonna be floating this close in and upriver. So we can get it deep. And this one is not going to be skimming on the surface, it's going to be down. With the woolly worm on there, because it's a floating fly, you can just let it go and it's not going to get hung up on the rocks. But with this on there, it definitely is going to get down deeper and will get hung up on the rocks. Okay, I have a strike indicator on this one now and a little tiny nymph without a bead. Let me show it to you. The last time I was using a thingamabobber, I wasn't using a thingamabobber, I was making using a makeshift thingamabobber out of a balloon in a video a few weeks ago up at a river. Come on. Up at a river in, on Stevens Pass. I'm gonna somehow tie a little balloon on the tip there and see if I can make a small balloon work as a strike indicator. Right there. It might even be adjustable. And it is. Okay, that's probably the goofiest thing I've ever seen. And if you watch that video, you seen I was using a balloon to simulate a thingamabobber. It worked okay, but these things work way better. They're smaller, really lightweight, cast well, and when you're nymph fishing with a strike indicator, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you want to cast it upstream, sometimes directly upstream, depending on you know, the nature of the water. And then you just want to mend your line so it's a natural float down the river. And your nymph is sitting there as close to the bottom as possible. And just keep an eye on your strike indicator there. And you'll see if a fish hits, it'll take it down suddenly. Or if it gets hung up, it'll slowly go down. And just keep an eye on your strike indicator. Trying to create the most natural drift and slow drift you can. Oh, there we go. There we go. Swear to God. Oh. If I had $1 for every time I fell in the river, dang it. Now I'm soaked. I remember one time I was standing on a rock way out in the river. This was many years ago. And I start getting off the rock, start stepping off the rock, and I'm in river water that's up to my chest. I'm on top of a rock. And just as I'm stepping off, I have the rod out like this, and a fish hits and knocks me off the rock, and I go slipping off, and I ended up, you know, bouncing down the river a little bit, you know, with the fish on. But that happens every year when I'm out here waiting. Every year I'll fall in the river at least once. That's how slippery this damn place has become up here. Every single rock up here is so covered with slime, it's almost impossible to walk around here without slipping. I'm gonna make several casts in here with this woolly worm on here, and then we'll head down that way. Okay, we're gonna fish the head of this rapid here. Ho 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 ho, what was that? Oh, I felt something take it. Darn it. We just moved down river. We were way up there. Now we're way down here. I'm usually able to pull a few nice trout and a steelhead out of this spot here. I'm gonna start with Old Faithful, you know, the old woolly worm. And then I'm gonna go with a nymph because it gets deep over here. Back in the day, back in the 80s, mid 80s to early 90s, my wife and I, we used to come down here and we wouldn't even bring a main course because we knew that we could come down here and catch a stringer full of trout, no problem. Back then, you know, there was super nice rainbow trout up to like 17, 18, 19 inches, but they're not here anymore. Every now and then you might find one, but not like they used to be. Too many people. And then on top of that, you got guides, you know, that are fishing bait all the time. Trout don't last very long after you hook them, and you know, especially when they're fishing with bait. And so the guides inadvertently kill hundreds and hundreds of trout, if not more, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of geese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 geese swimming up the bank between me and the bank. Looks like a couple different families with some babies that are pretty young. Whoops, I think I seen a piece of moss on there. Ooh, ooh, did you see that? Now I just got my fly out there, it's on the surface, probably no more than 6 inches below the surface. Oh, we got some sunshine. What is this? Stuck on the bottom. Ooh, that sunshine feels good since I'm wet. Okay, I've made a few gear changes up in here. Why did I say that? In this last spot. And doesn't seem to have made any difference. Right now I've got a double beaded stonefly nymph, black. They're kind of a medium size. It's only about maybe an inch long. So it's kind of a heavy fly with 2 beads. So I've been fishing this spot here for about an hour. I've made, I don't know how many casts, lots of gear changes, you know, fly changes, and haven't caught anything yet other than a couple of those 2 smaller fish. But you never know when something's gonna, you know, all hell's gonna break loose. But it's still a good day for me. And I think I mentioned this in my last video, is you have to set your expectations properly. If I came down here and expected to catch fish like I used to catch fish back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you know, I'd be disappointed every single time I came down here. But I don't. I set my expectations properly, and you should too. I think I mentioned this in a previous video about expectations. So I'd be disappointed if I didn't catch fish. If I thought I was going to catch fish like I did back in the day. But things don't work that way. Things change. You know, we have a lot of people in the state now. They're coming in droves, coming from all over the place. We have a huge, bloated, mismanaged Department of Wildlife. And so the hatcheries have been screwed up. You know, the rivers have been screwed up. The fishing allocations, you know, for salmon out in the ocean have been screwed up. And that's what happens when you have big government take over. But that's what we have. That's what we have in this state. We have Big Brother taking control of everything and screwing everything up and making everything worse. For you guys that are younger, you know, you don't know any better. I shouldn't say that. It's not that you don't know any better. You don't know any different. Your frame of reference is limited, you know, to a short window of time. Whereas, you know, people have been around for a long time like me, you know, our frame of reference is quite vast. And we've seen a lot of changes over the years where things have gotten worse. And so, you know, that's just the way it is. Right? Oh, I just got bumped again. But I think I'll just make a few more casts and hit the trail because this is not very productive right now. But it's been fun. I'm going to keep fishing here a little bit. If I'll get back to you if I catch something. If not, I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you watching. I don't think I say that enough, but I really do appreciate you guys watching the channel. Peace, love, tight lines, and see you on the water. If you liked this video, be sure to check out our other videos where you'll join us on the ocean catching kings and silver salmon, lakes catching kokanee trout and landlocked coho. We'll also be working our riverfront homestead and harvesting venison. Stay tuned for more fishing and hunting and outdoor adventure videos. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button so you get notifications of new uploads. Thank you for watching.